Real talk, raw.
Let's do it.
The churches nowadays, all they want to do is empowerment, which is great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's empowerment, get filled with the Holy Ghost, pray, fast, That's great, Jeremiah. That's great, Anthony. That's awesome. But then we have to balance it out because we're not all spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
We're humans.
Sure.
So what's going to happen when, our human side? Yeah. I think it was Paul that says that I want to do, I don't do it.
Yeah.
Because this is the battle, with the flesh. And we want to talk about that. We want to focus on that. We want to talk about sexuality. We want to talk about suicide. Did a pastor just committed suicide? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, does that happen like overnight? Like, that's a very interesting topic, and I think like these pastors, they've been battling with those things like for a very long time, and they don't want to talk about it. Like, to what extent does the church stay quiet about these things? Like, somebody has to speak up.
And Jeremiah, I mean, you're perfect for this because you're actually a PK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your pastor's kid. So, so if anybody knows about living with a pastor, what a pastor, your dad, your mom.
Sure.
So well, first of all, it's even hard just to be around a pastor.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're
perfect.
But now how you live with a pastor, and on top of that, he's your dad.
Yeah. No, that's actually, well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Okay,
I love that you guys want to be transparent. I mean, one of the things that I live by is transparency. I don't want to paint this perfect picture, right? Oh, I'm perfect. This is who I am. I'm a PK, right? Being a PK growing up, it was all about, el hijo de pastor, right? He's the example. All the kids come to church and they have to be like him.
Before, do we need a translator? Because you say hijo de pastor. For the people that...
I'm dead.
No, it's okay.
Hijo de pastor.
Pastor's kid.
Pastor's kid. It's a PK. But, and I feel like because of that, growing up with that mentality, right, we tend to paint this picture. We tend to be someone we're not. We're fake about it. And even in my preachings, when I do speak, I tend to be transparent because even Jesus was like that. Him being perfect, 100% God, 100% human, all that, but he was like, look at my hands, right?
Yeah.
I bleed just like you, So with that being said, sheesh, PK, man.
Well, first of all, where are you from? Where's your dad from?
My dad's Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian.
My mom's Dominican.
Awesome.
So I got the sazon, both, but
both of best worlds.
One is more
I'm Ecuadorian, right? I think I told you.
Yeah, he did mention. Yeah.
My parents are Ecuadorian.
Yeah.
So
Ecuadorians are very poetic. Dominicans are very tigre.
Very very crazy.
Whatever tigre means.
Tiger. I think that's tiger in Spanish, in English.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in the church. My parents were very big on Jeremiah. We need a piano player. I need you to learn.
How many siblings you have?
It's my sister and myself.
Who's the oldest?
What?
Who's the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
My sister is about a year and a half younger than me. I have other half brothers and sisters. This from my dad a long time ago. Okay. But he's like, you need to learn piano. I'm like, okay. My mom was like, yeah. We need a piano player. You need to do this ASAP. All right, fine. So I'm learning. I'm a kid that wants to go outside in the park, right? But no, we need a piano player. So I'm here like, man, I feel like my childhood is like being stripped away from me, right? All I want to do is play PlayStation. Mom doesn't want to give it to me. What she does, she gives me a piano. I'm like, geez. Okay, fine. I learn. What happens is that there is no reward for playing the piano. For me, it's like, man, I'm exhausting myself, right? I'm giving, but what am I gaining of this, right? A young kid, you don't see playing the piano for God as a great thing. You see it as like, I got to get up in the morning and play, So
now, when did you realize that, because there's two kind of people, two kind of musicians that come to church. I'm a musician, and just for them giving me the chance to play the piano in church was like, oh, wow.
What an honor.
what an honor, you know? So it wasn't like, you know, like what you said, like, oh man, I gotta wake up, you know, and I understand that because there was sometimes that it did, you know, but I loved it. I loved, you know, come to church, and I would always get there early, make sure that the piano was set perfect. Now, do you think that's happening nowadays?
Yeah.
With the musicians. So let's talk about the musician.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like for musicians, if your heart's not in the right place, you know, you'll complain a lot.
I hear the word, I'm going to a gig.
Sure. Right. The heart is on, I have to make money. Right?
Okay, so that's exactly what I wanted to go. Do you agree with that?
So to be complete, and I'm gonna be honest, back then that was frowned upon. You know, at church to say, oh no, you can't sell your gifts. You can't do this and stuff, whatever. But I realized that pastors that say that, it's because they're cheap pastors. You know, I'd be like, okay, what do you mean? I mean, we all have our thoughts, and anybody watching be like, Jeremiah, you're wild. Yeah. But think about this.
Wait, just first of all, a lot of people are not gonna invite you no more.
but no, listen. My heart, for me, I feel like if you pay me right for playing, I feel honored that you felt that the need to give me an envelope and say thank you for your service. Yeah, I feel like Pastor Willie, yeah, God is gonna give you, you know, the reward, right? But it's like, okay, that's awesome, I'll do it. But think about it. I get invited, bro, to PA. I get invited to Virginia, right? I'm gonna pay my money to get a rental, gas, and then I'm gonna go and not get anything back. My heart is to serve God and I wanna bless people, but it's kind of hurtful having to go back home empty-handed. Especially me that currently I'm unemployed. So if you invite me somewhere and like I have to go and give all my money to this, all that I have to bless you, then not have anything. I mean, Paul said, you know, if I go, you know, don't ask for money there, but have it ready for me because every worker is, you know, should have.
So what's your interpretation of the verse where it says that the worker is worthy of
its salary? Yeah, absolutely.
So what does that mean?
That eso mismo. I feel like that's what it is. I mean, for me, an example, my church, you know, we instead of hiring a company to come and renovate the church, we ask some of the members of the church, hey, anybody has a business? We love to bless you. You're gonna bless us, right? It's like you're helping the church, so we're gonna give you money.
And so like every coin has two faces, right? So now we have one face where people are cheap.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's other people that are getting too much money for something that, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if you're getting so much money
overpaid.
If you're getting overpaid if you're not doing a good job. So I'm gonna give you a crazy testimony. When I was 12 years old, I prayed to God one prayer. For me, I live my life by praying one prayer, and God, if you give it to me, you gave it to me. If not, that's on you. I said, God, Lord, I need money. Because at the time, my parents weren't giving me money to buy clothes. I was using my half-brother's clothes. They were very baggy on me, the Levi's jeans. Like, I was sagging.
But that was a style back then.
Yeah, I was sagging even though I didn't want to sag, you know? So here I am, you know, and I'm like, God, I need money. So at church, for the first time ever, tells my mom, hey, we need a piano player. Do you know anyone? Oh, my son plays. Okay, cool. We'd love to bless him. You know what my mom said? No. He'll do it for free.
No way.
What? I'm like, no, Mom. Like, I was a kid, though. And I was like, I love the money. Okay, so they gave me $50. Bro, awesome.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
So $50.
$50 a Sunday,
and how many years is this? Like,
this
10 years ago? 50.
Yeah.
So $50
I'm
a lot
24
back then.
now. So, yeah. Yeah. Bro, I'll buy anybody sandwiches, right? So here I go, boom. And I'm like, God, thank you, right? I could buy myself a sweater, a shirt, whatever. What happens is the church that was renting from that church, right? They saw me, they heard me play, like, we love to bless you. We love for you to play. So right after that church, another $50, $100. Whoa. Wow. That's awesome. And then at night after my parents' service, there was another church that invited me $100.
So now at this point, were you like thinking I can move out now?
Yeah, no, I'm like, I can start my own family now. I can start a church.
This is it.
This is a business right
in the
here.
hood.
$200. But what happens, this is what happens, right? I didn't want to wake up in the morning, right? I only did it for the money, right? Bro, I'm so embarrassed. And if the church, they speak Spanish, but if they were to see this, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Listen, bro, there's a picture of me just like this. Literally, I'm not even gonna lie. This is me. You know? And I look at it and I tear because I'm like, wow, where was that? What was my headspace there? And then, you know what God started doing? Taking away a church. Boom. Wow. That's $50. took away the night service. Boom. So now I'm only back with service number one, only $50 a week. And God said, you wasn't a good steward, right? You didn't know how to administer what I gave you, right? You're doing it for the money. So all these musicians that do it for the money, that that are getting paid, that's cool. God bless you, right? They're making a living off of that. But if you get if you're not giving 100% because you're getting a paycheck, God's gonna take it away from you sooner or later.
Now that we're talking about this topic, I wanted to speak on this because, as as ministers and people that have ministry, we've been traveling different places.
Sure.
People invite us, right?
Yeah.
When we get there, we see the abuse that they do, like financially.
Yeah.
And when you start, you want to be on that humble level, like
Sure.
you don't want to ask for money or you don't want to tell them. Do you think to some extreme, like people, they have to like kind of like charge? Because there's a lot of abuse that us as ministries we've been like receiving if we don't tell them. Because it's obvious, if I'm going to your church, you gotta pay the gas. You gotta pay. There's some certain things you gotta. What do you feel about that topic?
Well, to be honest, when I do get invites, the first thing they ask me is, how much do you charge? And I immediately said, you know what? I don't charge. I tell them I don't charge, but I do humbly accept a love offering.
Donation.
Now I tell them, currently I'm not unemployed. I'm unemployed. And you give me what you want to give me. Because, some of these churches, they want to pay you, right? Some of these churches, they don't. But, they ask you all that stuff. But for me, I would never charge. The only thing is that if I do get invited to a church, this was true story. And we're being raw right here.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a church that invited me. I brought out musicians, singers with me. Man, whole band to a different state. Everyone left in their pockets $15.
No way. Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. I think there's a certain type of abuse that we receive, so that's why people trying to shift that way. Like, you gotta let them know. If you don't let them know, you'll leave empty-handed or with a handshake.
And I also think that it's kind of like leadership's fault. Because if you're a leader, you know that there's gonna be some expenses. You know? And now. And I want to go back to, and this is a good topic, and we could keep on talking about it. You as a PK, and most of my friends, when I was growing up, they were PKs, and I used to see the abuse that the members would do against these. So they have you guys in a pedestal.
Sure.
What can you tell us about that? Because I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a certain type of pressure you guys receive?
I'm sure.
Special type of treatment?
We do. No special treatment. I mean, we probably do get a lot of accolades, a lot of acclamation. Oh, as a pastor's kid, look how he's dressed and stuff. Be careful, whatever. But at the same time, man, it is hurtful because a lot of people tend to see you right through a lens, right? For instance, for me growing up, I had low self-esteem, right? And people used to call me ugly. They used to bully me, and the only time a girl would ever notice me was if I started playing keys or I started singing. And it's like, man, I wish people would like me for me, right? Yeah. I wish they wouldn't just talk to me because I'm the PK and they want to preach on Sunday. Or I hope they just want to be my friend, not just to be cool with the pastor or cool with my sister, for instance, So it's like they have this like lens, and I never felt truly accepted by people for me.
Do you believe in nepotism in church?
In what?
Nepotism.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really know.
So you as a PK, you think that the calling of a pastor is like forced on you?
Like a monarchy, for instance.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I mean, now if we go back to Bible scripture, this is calling.
Yeah.
This is a spiritual calling.
Yeah.
It's not like a gift that I'm gonna give my daughters. No, this is a gift that God gives you.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in nepotism. I know a lot of churches that practice that.
Yeah.
And guess what? The church doesn't go nowhere.
It doesn't go anywhere. You're right. you're right. Because, well, for me at least, I don't attend my parents' church. I'm a youth pastor at a different church, at a small church. And my dad passed on the baton. You know, who is he going to give it to? Oh, Jeremiah. He can't. Like, well, he can if he wanted to. One, I'm not married, right? And you could be a pastor if you're not. If you're a pastor,
Oh, good.
not married.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a good.
But for me, I want to be married.
Okay.
I want to.
Do you have a girlfriend? Because you need to have a girlfriend.
You do. Yes, I do. Yes.
You have a girlfriend.
I have, yes.
Okay.
And no one knows. I can't say her name or anything.
Okay, no, it's okay.
It's all right. Just give initials. That's it.
Cool. Jesus Christ. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's great. But when I marry her, you know, that's gonna be. Well, for me personally, I have that calling. I do want to pastor. Do I feel like I need to pastor my dad's church? No, because you know, if it's like that, you know, then the whole calling. Because what if I had a calling to be evangelist? Do I have to let that go to fulfill, you know, this idea like, hey, the son needs to take to church? No.
Now that you're speaking on that theme, do you feel you have to be a pastor? I see that you wear a lot of different type of hats.
Yeah.
You worship, you preach.
Yeah.
I see on your Instagram. So what do you feel you lean more towards, like worshiper, preacher?
Oh man, great question.
Which do you enjoy more?
Yeah, what's your passion?
Preacher, man.
Preacher?
Yeah, I've been preaching longer than I've been singing.
Okay, now I have a question because you're a preacher.
Sure.
You're a preacher. I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
This is one question that I'm gonna ask every preacher that comes to the
show.
studio.
Okay.
How do you prepare for your preaching? Like, let's say I'm gonna invite you for an event, a service in 2 months. Let's say 2 months.
Okay. How do I prepare?
How do you prepare for it?
Well, first I pray and ask guidance. Should I accept that invitation? That's number one. You can't always go everywhere they invite you, right?
And I'm gonna let you know why after you give me an answer. I'm gonna tell you why I asked that.
Cool. So yeah, so I'll pray about it. If I feel God saying yeah, go, cool. Then I ask my pastor. My pastor says yes, awesome. I got the 2 yeses, and I'll say yeah, I'll be there. I typically ask what's the theme of the service, or if they want me to preach on the theme, or just preach whatever God puts in your heart. And usually that's what they say. I pray, I fast, and I can only preach what I have lived. I can only preach what my testimony is. Right? I can't preach to you something I got off online, off Stephen Furtick or Mike Todd, all these people. I just can't do it. That's their life, that's their anointing, and they can keep that. For me, I can only preach my testimony. For me, when I preach, I love giving points, and giving you, what I'm trying to tell you overall. And then at the end, hopefully you're convicted and you come to the altar with repentance, or you can change or feel empowered and whatnot.
The reason why I asked you that, because I'm tired of listening to T.D. Jake sermons.
Yes.
I'm tired
churches
of listening to other people preaching Gigi Avila's, David Valle's preachings. Preachers, if you guys are listening, we also listen to them. We listen to them on YouTube, and so we know their messages, and we know if you're gonna
preach
use
your own
them.
stuff, man.
That's exactly. So as a preacher, of course you got to pray. You got to have the guidance of the Holy Spirit.
I think a couple of preachers just left the chat.
Sheesh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Come back. Come back.
No. Yeah, that's true, man. I believe that. You should. You have to do that. It's because we're all preaching the same messages, and that there's no authenticity.
So he was saying about your worship, and you recently just came out with
an album. Yeah,
an album.
Hope Again.
Hope Again.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
Yeah.
The process. Explain to us the process.
Quickly, the album was going to be an EP first, and the EP was going to be titled When Autumn Comes. What's another word for autumn? Fall. So what happens when the fall comes, right? What happens when you fall into sin, when you fall out of love, when you fall and in this walk with God, like what happens after that? That's what the EP was going to be about. However, we decided to make an album, and I felt, I don't know if I could talk about it now because it won't literally have so much. If you guys ever have me back, I'll give you.
Yeah, we're going to have you back. This is part 2. We're going to have a part 2.
Yeah, I'll give you but it's some serious stuff. Like I could tell you what happened this entire year was a rough year for me. But I felt like God was saying, Jeremiah, you can still hope again. I know you lost a lot of things, man. And he was saying, but there's still hope. Like, you got me, right? It all started with the song On My Own, where I felt like I started losing a lot of friends. Like all these people that I did ministry with abandoned me, and like I heard through their vines where they were talking about me, and I still saw them with the eyes of love. And I'm like, man, I still love you. I'm still here with you. And it's not the people you may think. You know, there's people that you've never seen me on social media with. And I felt like I can only do this with God. So that's where it was birthed from, Hope Again, right? So
you have 600,000 streams, bro.
Yeah.
Just one question: how do you stay humble with 600,000 streams? Like how do you go about doing that? Because it's so
That's
easy.
awesome.
It's so easy for it to get to your head. Like
That's awesome.
You know, and a lot of people probably do that. Let it get to their head. How you stay humble?
Because God took away those churches when I was a kid. He took them away, and He can easily take this away from me.
Wow.
There's no reason why I should glorify myself in this. Because once I do, God's gonna be like, okay, I'll take a stream away. Okay, I'll take a fan away. You know, I'll take a supporter away. So it's like, man, I love what I have. If I want to keep it, I gotta administer it well. That's why. I just can't. It's like that thorn in my flesh, like Paul said.
It's like what happened to King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
In Daniel, I think it's chapter 8, when he said he came out one day in his palace and he goes, "Look at this kingdom with these two hands."
Yeah.
And God had to, you know, and you know what? I'm glad for youth like you guys, like Anthony, that are humble. Stay humble, you know, and that's what we need. Mm-hmm. We need. So you're a worshiper, you're a preacher. Mm-hmm. Which one you like to do? You said you like
preaching
to preach most.
Yeah.
Spanish or English?
Both.
Now,
English.
I typically write my messages in English and then translate them in Spanish.
Yeah,
is there a favorite song? A favorite song?
My favorite song
on the album.
On the album, yes. So it's No Coincidence.
And why?
Because it's about her.
Okay.
Yeah. I literally, the song says, "Ever since I saw you walked in, I've been feeling some type of way, you know, about you." And literally, when she arrived, she came in a storm.
She is who?
She is my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. She came into my life and changed me completely. Like she's one of the reasons why I was able to hope again.
So you basically did what King Solomon did to
yeah, for sure.
Songs of songs.
All the songs, like all the songs. Yeah, there's no coincidence about her, and I just love the tune. The second favorite song would probably be "Found Me," because it's my love song to God.
Nice.
So it's the first love song to her, the other love song to God, and yeah, I'd say that. And then there's other cool stuff. But.
Like I could notice like these times, there's a lot of people putting out songs, albums. Do you think like ministry-wise, like other ministries, do you think they like to support each other? Do you think there's like some type of
like rivalry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you
sad to say.
You can feel intimidated.
Yeah.
One person messaged me on Instagram once and said, "Jeremiah, like I didn't want to listen to your music, you know," and I was like, "Oh snap!" That's the first thing I read. I don't want to listen to your stuff. Like I didn't want to. Like I just thought that, you know, I could probably read the message, look it up, but he was talking about like he felt like threatened or jealous. But then he was like, he listened to it and he was like, "Man, this is a work of art." And I was like, "Bro, I felt the same way." Like, because the thing is that comparison kills. Especially through social media, you see someone living their dreams.
So much negative stuff.
Yeah, and you feel like you have that same potential to do great, but you're not doing anything. You can feel threatened. Like, man, I'm not gonna support that person because I should be there, you know. But I've been there, you know. I saw friends, you know, do music and they become great. I'm not to their level, you know, but I'm young. I have the ability to do it, so let me get up and work.
So, like, what do you say to those young people right now that they're listening? Like, they have an idea, they want to start a song, they want to start preaching, but they feel shy, they feel nervous, they scared, timid. Yeah. What do you say to those people?
Do it. Just do it. I mean, I don't want to preach, but, you know,
flow.
Elisha told the king in the Bible, you see where he says, take the arrow, right, and shoot your shot. Shoot it out the east window. And he said, and basic in essence, he was saying, and then he said, strike the ground. So he was saying, in essence, God is going to give you what you want according to your ambition. You know, and he said, the Bible says that he struck the ground only 3 times. And he said, why only 3 times? He said he struck it 3 times and he stopped. And he said, but I don't know why I feel God right now. It's crazy. But he said, if you would have done it 5 times, you would have wiped them out of existence. But you only did 3 times. Why? So then it's like, many of us, we don't have that ambition, that desire to be successful, right? And because of it, we never accomplish our goals and our dreams. So I don't have 3 strikes in me. I have 5, I have 10, I have 1,000. I'm gonna keep striking until water comes out of that rock. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So if you feel discouraged and you want to preach, but you don't feel like you have the resources, we all started that way. And that's our testimony, right? Because we started that way, we can, right, be that person God destined us to be. We just got to accept and let these promises speak to our hearts.
Jeremiah, if anybody wants to listen to your album, where do they go?
Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud,
What do
YouTube.
they have to search?
Just my name, Jeremiah Paltan.
Do you have
Bright Hope Again?
a secretary or?
No, I don't.
An assistant.
No, I am a part of a label, AO1 Records, and that's with, his name is St. James, Alfin, and Stefan. They're also great artists. They do.
You have Instagram, right?
Instagram? Yeah. So they're all on my Instagram. They have music too, and bro, we're just doing this for the kingdom.
Amen.
Of course, it's out of that worship vibe, but it's still, we have the message.
Now, the question that I wanted to ask you is,
yeah,
because your genre.
Yeah.
How do you classify your genre?
Yeah.
Of music.
Like indie. I say indie.
Yeah.
I mean,
now, did you get criticized? Because
I did.
I know that I think we all come from an RT kind of background church for people that is very conservative.
Yeah, conservative, yeah. They would tell me, oh, Jeremiah, why don't you do... They probably wouldn't criticize me, but they'll do an undertone oh, but what about worship music? Yeah, indirects, right? What about worship music? All stuff. I'm yeah, it's cool. I love worship music, and I will do. Hopefully this year, 2020,
awesome.
I'll put out an EP, worship album. But my thing is, I've always loved R&B. So yeah, although if you go on Apple Music, it's classified as R&B soul, but it's there's someone that calls it R&P, rhythm and praise. Rhythm and praise. Yeah.
Nice.
So instead of rhythm and blues,
so that could be a new genre.
Yeah, rhythm and praise.
Nice.
But yeah,
Trademark it. Cool. So what's next after Hope Again?
Hope Again.
Do you have any projects coming 2020?
2020, of course, and worship EP album.
Well, your resolution. What's your resolution for this new year?
Just be better than I was 2019, man. Now that I got all this that God has given me, administered well, my relationship well, my friends, and I want to do more stuff, as far as letting people know who I am. I mean, people throughout the years just known me as that worshiper, that does covers and stuff. No, I want you to see me for me and know that it's okay. Whatever you're going through, I went through it, and you can get out of it.
Damn.
Well, guys, you heard it from the man himself, Jeremiah Paltan. Thank you guys for tuning in. Brother Fidel, want to say anything before?
Yeah, just please follow us, Instagram, YouTube channel, La Verdad Sin Filtro, the truth with no filter. God bless you.
And real quick, before, I know y'all saying bye, I'm going to say goodbye. If you have any questions with what I said, hit me up. I'll clarify. All right?
DMs.
Please, don't let the invitation stop. All right?
God bless you guys.
God bless everyone. God bless.